Hi everybody! I look a little different today, don't I? That's because this is a tutorial on exercise pearls. You'll find these exercise pearls or tips listed on pages 18 and 19 of your outline notes. They're not grouped together like this in the book. Instead, they appear in conjunction with the subject matter to which they pertain. So I'm coming to you from the gym in Buenos Aires, and I'm dressed for exercise. So I'll be telling you many things, and I'll show you just a few things. I'm going to give you 12 exercise tips. I call these Menopause Barbie's rules of exercise. In later tutorials, I'll do a lot more demonstrations of specific activities. So let's start with rule number 1. What's the first thing you notice when you enter a gym? I'll bet anything it's the vast variety of equipment. And you know why there's so much variety? Because variety is the most important aspect of exercise. Have you ever heard someone say, "I just can't understand why I'm not losing weight. I've been doing the same thing for a whole year"? Well, think about that. Why would someone expect to change when they aren't changing anything? So, regardless of what you do for exercise, inject some variety. Mix things up. Otherwise, you won't see much change. Ironically, the majority of people adopt a routine and do the very same thing day after day. Now, how boring is that? So just don't get into a rut. Rule number 2 is make exercise a habit. Build it into your daily schedule. Do it on your way to work or on your way home to avoid traffic. I'm a big believer of going to the gym first thing every single morning, and that way it's out of the way. If I try to squeeze it in later in my day, something always seems to interfere. I think of it as my selfish time, and working out first makes my entire day less stressful. So think about your typical day, your typical schedule, and build exercise into your day in a way that's convenient for you. And don't take prolonged breaks. You know, it's so hard to get back into your exercise when you take breaks. And you know, it makes you feel so old when you can't do what you used to be able to do just a recent time before. So now rule number 3 is do whatever works for you. Maybe you need a personal trainer to incentivize you, or possibly classes are your thing. Perhaps working out with a friend on the buddy system is best. Or it could be that exercising outdoors is more appealing to you. Just do whatever it is that gets you going. Exercise rule number 4 is exercise different standards for different goals. So we classify exercise goals into 4 broad categories. The first one is heart attack prevention. Now, if all you're doing is trying to prevent a heart attack, it takes exercising for 20 minutes, 3 times per week at target heart rate. So, how do you determine your target heart rate? Well, first, you figure out what your ideal maximum heart rate is. And that's easy, because all it is 220 minus your age. That is your ideal maximum heart rate. Second, you calculate your actual maximum heart rate during exercise. And here's how you do that. You start exercising moderately, and periodically you take your pulse by putting your index and middle fingers on your neck. Just count how many times your carotid artery pulsates in 10 seconds, and then multiply that number by 6. That number is your maximum heart rate during exercise, and you're going to use it for some other calculations. Mine is very low. It's like I'm barely alive. The third thing you do is from that number you just calculated, which is your maximum heart rate during exercise, you figure out your target heart rate. Your target heart rate is simply 50 to 85% of your maximum heart rate during exercise that you just calculated. It's going to be a range. And depending on your goals, you'll use that target heart rate to monitor yourself. If you're doing moderate exercise, you should be maintaining a heart rate of 50 to 69% of that maximum. If you're doing intense exercise, you should maintain a heart rate of 90% of that maximum. And you can find heart rate calculators everywhere. They're online, they're on the walls of gyms everywhere. So if you're trying to prevent a heart attack, it's all about your target heart rate. But what if you want to do more than just prevent a heart attack? What if you want to maintain your weight? Well, if you want to maintain your weight, that's a taller order. You have to do more than just exercising 3 times a week for 20 minutes at your target heart rate. For weight maintenance, you have to do aerobic exercise daily. I mean, you eat every day, don't you? Well, then you have to exercise every day. And what if you want to lose weight? Well, then it's all about calories burned. For every pound you want to lose, you have to burn 3,500 more calories than you consume. You know, it's really depressing to think about how much you have to exercise to burn off something like just a single donut. And finally, what if you want to sculpt or build your muscles, and look really muscular like I do? Well, then you have to really increase your protein intake and do specific bodybuilding exercises. To summarize, you focus on target heart rate to prevent a heart attack, daily aerobic exercise to maintain your weight, burning 3,500 more calories than you consume to lose weight, and protein to build muscle. Now, exercise rule number 5 is learn new exercises. Look around you and notice what other people are doing. Go to a class and get new ideas, or maybe have a couple of sessions with a personal trainer just to learn some new moves. Exercise rule number 6 is be creative with your exercise. You don't have to do the things the same way everyone else is doing them. Do you remember when you were a kid and you made up your own exercises? Why'd you stop doing that? Did you ever say, "Look, Mom, no hands"? So be playful, try new things, and then when you master something, make it harder. Notice all the toys that are in your gym. I mean, look, there's always things like ankle weights. We've got these elastic bands. These things are great. They weigh nothing, but you can do all sorts of things with them. There are things like balance boards and the ball. There's this balance ball. These things are great. I'll be showing you some exercises on these things later in different tutorials. And there's this thing called the Bosu. And the Bosu is really great for all sorts of things. Got to set it down there. So there are multiple levels for every single exercise. And you can use these toys to make your exercise more interesting. So for example, rather than just doing your bicep curls like this, you can get on the Bosu and do them. And if you're on the Bosu, you can stand with 2 legs, or you can get really creative and do it with 1 leg. And when you start doing things like this, boy, are you really making it more complex by adding to your exercise. Now, exercise rule number 7 is my very favorite. It's tailor your exercise to your own needs, capabilities, and interests. You see, I'm a severe arthritic. I can't do what other people can do. So I do what I can do. I can't move quickly, so I don't. I don't run on the treadmill. I walk uphill, nice and slowly. You see, as you age, speed is not your friend. So you can increase the intensity and move more slowly. And you know what? You actually get a better workout that way. I can't do 20 lateral raises quickly, so I do 10 very slowly. You see, I really have 2 speeds. Slow and stop. I can't lift heavy weights, so I use baby weights and I maintain really good form rather than straining to lift the heavy weights. It's just not worth it. I can't do any exercises that involve impact, so I don't. If there's an exercise that includes a jump, I skip the jump, and instead of jumping, I just do a squat. Exercise rule number 8 is don't forget the functional stuff. You see, as we age, the two things we lose most are balance and flexibility. And yet, those are the two things that people do the least. Look around any gym and I promise you the two things you'll see people working on the least are balance and flexibility. You know, every year, no matter where we live, everyone in the gym comes to know me as the lady who practices all the balance and flexibility exercises. And they're always asking me, am I a ballet dancer? I just laugh because, I mean, gynecologic surgeon, ballet dancer, they're kind of different, right? Can you imagine me, a dancer? I mean, I can't dance worth a darn. Remember, you're exercising to extend your life. So do the things that will extend your life. And balance and flexibility are the two things that will keep you from breaking your hip because they'll prevent you from falling in the first place. So have fun with balance and flexibility. Pretend like you're 5 years old again. I mean, maybe I can be a ballerina, who knows? Let's try. Maybe I can be a ballerina. Exercise rule number 9 is make it fun. Get your friends to join you. Go out to tea afterwards to reward yourself. Make it social. And exercise rule number 10 is stretch yourself out at the end of your workout. Skipping your stretch is a big no-no. You've made your muscles contract with exercise, so you have to counteract that with stretching. You know, it loosens you up, it feels good, and you know what? It might even offset some of your shrinkage from menopause. Exercise rule number 11 is don't forget the payoff. Give exercise just 2% of your time, and it'll give you a lifetime. Now that is a great return on your investment in yourself. And finally, exercise rule number 12. Enjoy the compliments you'll get. You worked hard for them, so bask in your glory. So there you have them, my 12 rules of exercise. Of course, you should put your own spin on them, but don't lose sight of the basic principles. That does it for today. Later, we'll have a variety of other exercise tutorials for specific purposes, and I'll personally demonstrate all kinds of fun exercises for you. I'll be bendable Barbie. Thanks for coming to the gym with me today. Until next time, bye.